Evening. Thank you for joining us on this Titan Professional webinar. My name is Samuel Kalishaw. I'm joined by my colleague, Kristen. Kristen, could you introduce yourself and tell us what you do for Titan?
Yeah, I'm Kristen Jarrett, as Samuel already said. I'm the product manager, so I manage all of our new product launches from concept to launch, and basically any technical or just questions that anybody has. Those all come through me.
Okay, yeah, thank you. But yeah, like I said, my name's Samuel. I do the company's marketing, so I work with Kristen on a lot of our products. But thank you for, like I said, thank you for taking a few minutes for this short webinar. It shouldn't be more than 20 or 30 minutes. Stay tuned until the end to learn about how you can get a free Titan Professional gun applicator, just as a thank you for taking the time with us. And feel free to ask questions in the chat along the way. So the subject of our webinar today is stop wasting money on 2K foam kits. So we'll just jump into it. So we'll look at today's promotion. We'll look at some of these traditional two component foam kits, what they do, how they operate. If you're joining this webinar, if you're watching this video, you probably are already familiar with these, but we'll look at where you're wasting money. And then we'll look at our Tytan Thermospray product that we're in the process of launching here and people are already using. And then we'll look at some cost savings, how it works, and then we'll run through an example of where we used it recently. So like I said, thank you for attending. We're talking about this Tytan Professional Thermospray product today, but what we're giving away is one of these Tytan Eco Gun applicators. This works with any of our products, including Thermospray, or other foam adhesives as well, which we'll look at here shortly. But we're giving away one of these to everybody that attends as a thank you for your time. So this is a quick overview of our product line. So if you're familiar with foam sealants in the insulation contractor space, maybe you've heard of us. So Kristen and I both work for Selena, but we manufacture these Tytan Professional foams and adhesives. So you can see here this range of products, the orange fire block foam, window insulation foams, a couple other types of foam adhesives. But today we're talking about Thermospray, which we'll get into more. We also make a hybrid mastic duct sealant called Coat and Seal. And then we have a number of gun applicators that we pair with our products. So this slide is probably, information you may already know, but I'll run through it quickly. So these traditional two-component foam kits, basically they're two components because they use a part A and a part B, which essentially is this polyol and isocyanate blowing agents. There's other things involved with it. But essentially these two components, right, because there's two parts, a part A and a part B, they mix together in this hose that you see here, and it gets sprayed out, whether they're using it for wall insulation or roofing insulation as a sealant in manufactured housing. They spray it in warehouses. This stuff's used all over for insulation. And when we talk about the kits, commonly they're packaged, you can see on the bottom right, in these 250 or 650 board feet kits. And so when I say a board foot, that's like a 1x1 square foot at 1 inch depth. And this is typically how these kits come together. People perceive them as sort of convenient because it's a smaller packaging versus, you can see in the middle of the screen, I have those big, like 50-gallon drums. People spray foam that way too. But this is sort of a smaller package than that. And so a lot of people find that convenient, right? So where you're wasting money, so we'll jump straight into this. where you're really wasting money. So a lot of people go through these two component kits and use them, depending on what your application is, which we already looked at. But you can see, I just grabbed some screenshots from like the Home Depot website, where a lot of people buy these. And they're, from $500 to $1,000. You can see I did some math here. So for the 210 kit, your cost per board foot is a little over $2. And then for the 650 kit, your price is maybe $150 per board foot. So common areas that you're really wasting money on these are smaller jobs. So if you're using one of these 2K kits to insulate some smaller area, maybe it's only 50 board feet, let's say, under somebody's stairs or in a closet, one single little wall. If a outlet needs to be replaced and you're foaming around that new drywall, behind that new drywall you're putting in. If you're not using the whole kit, you're really wasting money because you're going to throw it away, or you're going to, oh, I see we got a comment here from Bradley. Okay, so can you give us an idea about the R value of the products? Yes, I sure can. So the two component kits are typically around 7 per square inch or per inch of depth. Our product is between 4 and 5 because ours isn't a completely closed cell foam like the two component is. So depending on your application, maybe you need to use 1 inch or 2 inches, depending on what R value you're looking for. But per inch, 4 to 5 R value per inch. So let's see, I mentioned small jobs. Anywhere where you're trying to use a single 2K kit over multiple jobs. So let's say you've got a contract where you're insulating a couple of small spots over the next 3 days, and you want to maybe save money by buying one of these 1,000 board feet kits, two component kits, like on the bottom left of the screen. Well, you're going to run into some problems because the hoses start to seize up between jobs, and you're having to replace hoses. Maybe the whole kit seizes up on you. So that becomes a problem. Certainly. So these are some areas where you're really wasting money potentially with these two component kits. And so we've introduced this new product called Thermospray, which is just an easy spray installation. You can use it to replace and or repair any of these two component foam systems. And we've got the testing to back that up, which Kristen will get into. We've also got good coverage. So it's 21 board feet for a single can. And so you can imagine how a smaller job, you'd be better off using something like this, where maybe you're using 2 or 3, 5 cans, instead of having to use half of a traditional kit and then throw away the part you don't use. It's also a sound blocking foam, up to 62 decibels. But this is exactly why we've made it. For these money wasting areas, we've made this product in order to alleviate those. You don't have to waste money there anymore with kind of an innovative product like this. And so I'll turn it over here to my colleague Kristen to get into some of the science behind Thermospray.
Yeah, so as we were developing this product, we knew that it could serve two purposes. We were thinking, for those that find the 2K cylinders intimidating and want to insulate small spaces themselves, and more importantly, those professionals using 2K foams and need a fast, easy solution for small jobs or for touch-ups that can give comparable results. So we interviewed some professional insulators, and the biggest parameter that was relayed that it needed to meet was for air permeability and vapor permeability, which is the testing listed here. So we submitted this for testing, and it came back and it matched what the 2K kits were. So we know right off the bat that it's a good alternative for those patch up jobs or for small spaces that you need to use it in. Um, as the this little easy to use icon here, you just take the can, shake it for 30 to 45 seconds, remove the top, slap it on a gun, and then pull the trigger. So again, the key takeaways are the convenience of canned foam, um, the quality and assurance professional installation contractors need. Again, we really tried to do our research before we launched this product to make sure that it could be used, in multiple avenues. And, the ease of use for most users, like no large clunky canisters. You have to go do a tight space or crawl up in the attic or, we've already just trying to do some little small projects ourselves, came into situations where we were, spraying little small spaces. So it's a great alternative. We know the testing supports, being able to use it as, you know, um, well, not completely interchangeably, but interchangeably for patch up or small jobs.
Yeah, thank you, Kristen. I think that's a great way to put it. So getting into some of the cost savings. So when you start comparing our product to some of the others that are out there, including the 2-component kits, you can see our cost per board foot is significantly less. So with a product similar, with a product like ours, you're much better off when you're quoting projects, or just working on small projects for whatever it is you're doing, whatever you're insulating. You're really going to see some cost savings. And then we actually have the air barrier testing to back that up, like Kristen was talking about. So you're going to save on the price per board foot. So whenever you're pricing out your jobs, you can really start to experience some savings for your customers too. It's just perfect for those small jobs, which we'll look at a case study here in a minute. But it's excellent for those where you're having to crawl up into an attic, or like I mentioned, under the stairs or under a bathtub, or whatever your job might be. And then it has that third-party testing that you need, that professional insulators need. Whether you're a professional using this product or not. So one application example that I thought would be fun for us to look at here is my shed. So we recently insulated my shed with this product in my backyard here in Fort Worth, Texas. So I have an 8x12 shed in my backyard. It's been there. I bought this house a few years ago, and it had this shed in the backyard that the previous owners had. And so I took it upon myself, and Kristen was there when I sprayed it out, but I insulated the shed. So I included a picture here. My dog was in the backyard when we were doing this. So shout out to Barry for helping. So you can see he's right there, but I'm spraying the Thermospray on the walls in between the studs. It applies really easily. It sprays out quick, so you're able to move pretty quickly. I was able to do the whole thing in about an hour, which I thought was very convenient for a DIY type application. So you can see some close-up shots. Here's a shot of the walls that are insulated now. I sprayed at about an inch or an inch and a half depth. And so here's a picture. Again, this really is my backyard. So some of the key takeaways that I really had when I was applying it. So like I said, this is sort of a medium-sized shed. It's 8x12. And it took me about 15 cans to spray it out. It really comes down to how thick you want the insulation. I did not put it on my roof, the interior roof. I guess I could have, but I did not do that. I just did the walls. Took me about an hour. I think if you had a buddy help you with this sort of project, it could take you 30 minutes easily. Which we do sell kits of this product that include 2 guns in it, and for such a project. So it's pretty convenient. But I thought this was a fun project, really easy. We did it in an afternoon on just earlier this week. So our thermospray, getting to some review here. So the main advantages versus those 2 component kits is really you're just not wasting material anymore. With these small jobs, you just use the cans you need. So for my project, for example, you'd probably need, 2.5 or 1.5 of these froth packs or something. So you're wasting hundreds of dollars by throwing away the other half of that other froth pack. Overall, I mean, the project's a lot cheaper too, just when you consider the board feet that for what you're paying, and it's so much easier to use. But yeah, lower cost per board foot. So these are some of the main advantages when you compare it to a traditional 2-component kit. So be sure to check us out. So we're here at the end. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We post videos on there, other application videos for projects or whatever professionals are working on with all of our products. Just as a reminder, we are a single source manufacturer of sealants and adhesives. We make a bunch of other products too. We were talking about Thermospray today, our easy spray insulation. And so again, as a thank you for attending, I'll be sending out an email tomorrow to everybody that attended, just requesting your address so I can send you out your gun applicator. So you're welcome to reply to that. And I appreciate everybody for joining the webinar. Thank you, Kristen, as well. And then thank you to Bradley for asking a question. That was,
yeah, thanks for the interaction.
Yeah, that's always fun. So stay tuned until our next webinar. We do more of these. We'll do another one next month. So I'll email out about that soon. So thank you, everybody, for attending, and have a great evening.